Wow, what a month November was. It has been a lot. In fact, a month of very many first-time experiences for me, such as when I took a trip to Raleigh halfway through the month, which saw many of those moments within it, like my first time flying. My first time in an airport and flying alone by proxy were connected to that first time flying experience. There's the fact that it was my first time east of Denver at some point in November, first time to see the ocean properly, first time meeting many friends and acquaintances from online, and many more first-time experiences as well that I don't necessarily feel like I need to get into all the details of that here in this video. As far as that trip is concerned, it alone made November quite exciting, but then there was even more stuff that went on in November as well, such as another type of first-time experience, except it not being a proper first time, more just being the first time in like 3.5 years, a little while, was coming back home from North Carolina and immediately catching a nasty cold that's been running through my town the last few days, thanks to my dad. And being more or less out of commission, sick for over a week where I didn't have time to be out of commission. But alas, I managed to get through nearly all the bare minimum content related stuff that I needed to for December, as well as some other things. So all is well that ends well, I say, and as they all say. As a side note, if there's a lot of coughs, hitches in my voice, a lot of cuts in the video because of coughing and other similar issues, it is because I still have that coughing issue going on, even though I feel like I've recovered from basically the rest of the cold. My voice probably also sounds a little bit different even still. I expect for the cough to persist a little while yet, and the other stuff I hope will correct itself before I am back. More of that we'll talk about at the end of this video. Anyway, while I was gone or out of commission most of the month, November was a fantastic month for me in a YouTube sense, particularly on the main channel, no matter the issues that went down. So let me go ahead and talk about all of that now. We'll go ahead and start off the video talking about last month's videos and highlights from November. I released 3 update videos on my 2 channels, my bi-weekly updates, and then of course the last State of Affairs video, just like normal there. On the main channel, I posted 8 unique videos over there, including some highlights of an Author Talks video where I got to talk about Shadows Upon Time with Christopher the author and Dave Butler the editor. That video went fantastic, one of my best performing ever. I started doing Wheel of Time diaries for the 11th book in the series, and the 3rd diary, for whatever reason, got a lot of views. And then I also did a Thanksgiving type of video where I thanked Sun Eater fans, generally speaking, for their support on my channel and for the North Carolina release day gala event for Shadows Upon Time, the 7th and final book of the series. That's why I went to North Carolina in November, and so I wanted to make a video about that. That's what I did on Thanksgiving. And that video also did well. On the second channel, however, it wasn't just the slight video drop-off that the main channel was. It was a pretty solid one. For reference, in October, I posted 11 videos on the main channel compared to the 8 in November. On the second channel, I posted 7 videos in October compared to just 2 videos that I posted in November, and I did not do any live streams. So on the second channel, things were pretty dead this month, for better or for worse, with those couple of highlights being, well, I guess both videos. One of them was the Music Mania episode 19, where I ranked all of the albums that I listened to from October. That was able to come out early in the month, and then I did a follow-up on my voting on which games that I would play for Let's Plays on the second channel, both as Let's Plays recorded and as live streams. Finally decided to make that video to fill out a little bit of the month because I wanted to get something else out there, but don't expect any of the results of that to be followed through in until 2026. And again, we'll talk about a little bit more of that later, but both of those videos I posted on the second channel. With that said and done, let's move into the statistics for my couple of channels this month. While the second channel didn't do fantastic on account of, basically almost entirely the fact that I did not post anything over there, the main channel did very, very well. In fact, I'm pretty sure the main channel was record-breaking in both the views and the watch hours, so that's pretty cool. I got nearly 3,400 views in November, which was up 60% from October, and October was already a pretty solid month, getting 2,100 views in it. I got over 475 watch hours, which was up 124%. I only got 213 watch hours in October, so I well over doubled that in November, which was crazy. But I'm pretty sure the vast majority of that was because of the Shadows Upon Time discussion that I did with Christopher and Dave. That was definitely no small part of it. So, and then also the fact that Shadows Upon Time released, I had a pretty big uptick in all my other Sun Eater content this month. So all that just kind of coalesced into a big performance, definitely record-breaking on the main channel. So thank you for that. And then I got 71,000 impressions, which was itself also up a solid 66% on the main channel. And I got a net gain of 31 subscribers, putting my total at the time of recording, or rather at the time of December 1st, at 1,084, which means that very real possibility of hitting 2026 and having 1,100 subscribers. I'm obviously not going to count on that, but just kind of based on averages this year, I've only had 1 month that did not get double-digit subscriber net gain, and even then, most of those were in the 16 plus range, I'm pretty sure. So realistically speaking, it could very well happen that I hit 1,100 by the end of the year, where at the start of the year, I thought that hitting 1,000 by the end of 2025 was kind of a pipe dream. So thank you to everybody who hit that button. It's really humbling. Really appreciate that. It's really cool. I just have no other words for it. It's just really awesome to see that. Second channel was a little bit more muted in performance, but I still got 883 views. Might have been down nearly 70%, but given the way that the Clair Obscur Expedition 33 review really propped up the last couple months' performance on the second channel, so no surprise that there was a bit of a drop-off here eventually as the peak of that video's performance really started to hit and drop down a little bit. It's still a lot of views, so I appreciate that. Same thing on watch hours, another big drop down to 143 watch hours, but still not a small amount. That's still higher than most months prior to that video coming out. So even though that video's largely hit its peak and is coming down again, still doing pretty well. The real downside of the month was very little impressions, relatively speaking, only about 18,000. But given that I posted basically no new videos over the course of the month, this isn't that much of a surprise. If I'd posted my regular, like 6 to 8 videos on the second channel this month, or maybe even a little more than that, but yeah, if I posted around a half dozen or more videos on the second channel, I'm sure the impressions count would be a little bit more normal. Then there's the fact that October had a pretty outlier kind of impressions count in the first place. That's just the way things go. I also got a net gain of 5 subscribers on the second channel, putting my total as of December 1st on 137. The funny thing about doing this video with this screen layout this month is like just looking at the subscriber count specifically, because there was 1 month earlier in this year. I forget which month it was. It was probably like 8 months ago or something like that, where I recorded a state of affairs over here because I just didn't have time to do the other effect. And on the main channel, I only had like 860, 880 subscribers, whereas, now I'm 200 more than that, which comparing that, relatively speaking, is really crazy. And then second channel, I only had like 40-something subscribers. I want to say like 41 subscribers here when I counted that last time. So that is also really, really crazy. So thank you to everybody who has joined along for the ride these last couple of years. For now, let's move on to last month's writing, where there is truthfully basically nothing to say over here. Yeah, like genuinely basically nothing to say. No words were written for game reviews, no words were written for film reviews. I just have some things that I still need to catch up on there. Music reviews, I only wrote 250 words this month because I have plenty that I need to catch up on from November. A lot of stuff that I just haven't had time for. The one video this month in December that was supposed to come out a couple days ago, actually, Music Mania, for covering all the albums I listened to in November, that just didn't happen on account of my cold. I was not able to record many more videos than what I was finally able to get done very late in the weekend recently. So that one just kind of fell by the wayside. I'm going to do that video a little bit later in the month, so I have some catching up to do there. And then I, of course, have 1.5 million reviews that I need to catch up on for book review related stuff. In fact, I think I have 8 reviews that I need to catch up on. I did finally write a review for The Dead Zone, which was 1,250 words, basically. So I got 1 book review caught up on, but that puts my total word count for the month at only like 1,500 words, which even compared to the last couple months where I've been too busy to write a lot of reviews, there's a reason why I have a bunch of stuff to catch up on here. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic, but you know, maybe there's a chance that I catch up on some of that stuff in December, but we shall see. Speaking of stuff to catch up on in December, let's talk about this month, things that I have planned here going on. I think that December is largely going to be another month of travel, kicking back a bit as well before 2026 hits, because you see, even though I just took a trip to Raleigh in November, I have a couple more trips happening in December. The first one of those, and rather the first leg of an upcoming trip here, at the time of this video's release on December 3rd. By the time you're watching this, if you happen to be watching this at the moment that it releases, I'm like out the door driving down to Provo to go help Christopher Rocchio and Dave Butler pack up some stuff to go drive up to Salt Lake City to help work Dragonsteel Nexus with them over the next handful of days from December 4th through 6th. So that's something that I'm doing through the rest of this week. And then immediately after the convention is over, from December 7th through the 13th, I'm going straight from Salt Lake, not even going home first. I'm going to be hopping on a plane and then going to New Jersey for a week. So I'm going to be out for the next week and a half at this point. And then once I return, I plan to actually spend a little bit more time with family and relaxing a little bit, hopefully, just because I don't anticipate truly starting the 2026 content grind and really figuring out what 2026 looks like for me personally for a little bit. I have some things that I got to figure out in the meantime there, because well, there's just some things that I have to worry about instead before I'm really going to be working that much even when I get back. First thing to talk about, and something that I'll talk a little bit more on in due time that I'll update you about, is getting a new job opportunity pretty recently, so soon I'll be able to tell you guys about that. My main channel got accepted into the YouTube Partner Program very recently, so I'm going to be taking a look on how to utilize that to some degree or another, you know, on account of the job, and also video work and live streaming, writing, trying to get back to my website, other various different type of stuff. I want to look at what an actual schedule, quote unquote schedule, a weekly schedule or something, might actually look like for at least the start of 2026. So that's probably what most of my time spent in the back half of December is going to be, is like really taking a look at that more broadly, taking a step back and saying, hey, what is it that I'm actually going to do? How is it that I'm going to, you know, balance out this time? How is it that I'm actually going to get some of these things accomplished? What are the priorities and all of that kind of stuff? So I have a lot to think about, and I want to spend most of December just kind of thinking about that before I actually really get deep into that mindset. So, I guess that's kind of the plans that I have for December, but that is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I recorded this over here on this screen because of the Dragonsteel Nexus trip. As soon as this video is done recorded, I want to have it edited as soon as possible, because I got to get to packing and doing stuff like that for my week and a half that I'm going to be gone. So, yeah, I'm going to stop wasting time. Thank you for watching this video. Again, if you did, what does your December look like? I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday season, whatever it is you celebrate, if you celebrate at all. I appreciate you guys for watching once again. But for now, I've been your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.